Now we have the 23rd pick, Green Bay Packers. Who did they take with their 23rd pick?
Well, you look at the Packers with that 23rd pick, they sit in a good spot. They can go anywhere with that selection. But I think they take the next best offensive lineman on the board. Anthony Davis, a guy out of Rutgers, guy that's a big, physical guy, can play left or right tackle. So you have some versatility with him. Okay. So they have the big guy coming out of New Jersey going over to Green Bay. He's going to do well for that passing game and that running game for Aaron Rodgers and company.
No running back help to help Ryan Grant run the football?
Again, they wanted that help out Brandon Jackson from Nebraska, but I think in the second round, third round, they probably find a guy that they can go job at best if they want to, but that's more of a luxury pick, but they really have to get the offensive line help first.
Okay. So, 23rd pick, Anthony Davis.
Correct.
Okay. 24th pick, we have Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia, they need outside linebacker help, so they take the best outside linebacker on the board. Sean Weatherspoon out of Missouri, a guy that's a vocal leader, so he's going to bring a nastiness to that defense that they already have, and he's going to bring some more athletic ability, so he can get after the quarterback, he can rush the passer, and he can cover in coverage if need be. He's a strong side backer. He can also play weak side if you need him to, so he's versatile as well. So Sean Weatherspoon out of Missouri, a guy that could have came out last year, been a top pick. They get him now with that pick with the Eagles. That's going to help out the defense a lot.
Some people also believe that they might trade one of those quarterbacks to maybe get a couple picks in the draft, or maybe try to move up in the draft. That's what some people are saying.
If they have a specific guy that they're targeting, then yes, they do have some weapons to play with. Right. You know, you look at a guy like Cobb or maybe a guy like Vic that can move up to get into the draft to see the person that they really, really want. But if they have to stay pat, I think they take Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon? Okay. So now we have the 25th pick with the Baltimore Ravens.
They need cornerback help, and you look at first. I had the Ravens selecting wide receiver in that spot, but with the sign of Anquan Bolden, then you have Stalwart, and then you get Mason back. So wide receiver is off the board for the first pick. Okay. So they have to go cornerback, which was a big need for them as well too. So I look at a guy like Kyle Wilson, a guy from Boise State that's physical, he's fast, and has a lot of speed, and he can catch interceptions. So you get a playmaker guy like that in that secondary with the Ravens, a guy that's a ball hawk, that's going to help out the defense, because when they get pressure, they expect the back four to make plays. You do have a player back there in Ed Reed. Now you need the cornerback to make plays as well too. Kyle Wilson's going to be that guy.
Let's not forget Ed Reed is contemplating retirement.
True, and so if he does retire, then you have to go somewhere else with that pick.
Right.
But the thing is, right now he's on the team, so I'm going to give him Kyle Wilson.
Kyle Wilson, okay. Now we have the Arizona Cardinals on the clock. They have the 26th pick.
Well, Arizona Cardinals, you look at, they need a guy that can get after the quarterback as well. Losing Dansby and needed some help on the outside linebacker spot. I think they go Ricky Sapp, guy out of Clemson that can really rush the passer. Tremendous guy. He looked unblockable a lot of times throughout the ACC. So you get a guy like that, put him on the pressure defense to go along with Dockett and company, they can get after the quarterback, and they're going to provide that pressure just like they did. If they can get pressure on the quarterback, they're going to make another run towards the Super Bowl.
Arizona is another team that might have some hopes for. You know, they just lost Curtis Warner. He retired. Now you just lose Anquan Bolden, who's been traded to Baltimore.
Correct.
Now you have Cromartie, who was hurt in the playoff game last year.
Correct.
So maybe not a quarterback to replace Kurt Warner, maybe a receiver. You know,
I think what they might do, they're gonna, first of all, I think they're gonna give Leonard a chance to show his work. So they're not gonna go quarterback. I think they're gonna lean more on their running game with Beanie Wells and Hightower to take some of the pressure off Leonard, especially since they don't want to throw it as much because they lost Bolden. But honestly, when you look at even when Bolden was out of the game, they still were able to move the ball with the passing game with Preston and Early Doucette, who came along late, especially had a big game in the playoffs against the Saints. So against Green Bay. So you look at that, maybe they still in position to make plays, you know. So I think the offense may be fine. Defensively, they probably need another safety, but I think they wait in the second round or third round.
Grab the safety? Okay. Now we have Dallas Cowboys. They're on the clock. 27th pick. What do you see where they might go, Dallas Cowboys?
They can go interior offensive line.
Okay.
Or they can go defensive secondary. I think since they have the big physical specimen on the board right now, Taylor Mays, I think that's where they go. You get a guy that's big, physical, can run, can make some plays close to the line of scrimmage. They struggled with those safeties back there last season. A guy like Taylor Mays, if he can figure out the free safety aspect of it, but maybe he's more of a strong safety, but you have the frame to work with, you know? And you give a guy like Wade Phillips, a great defensive mind, a guy with a good frame to work with, and they can put him in position to make plays. I think they're going to get him in position to make plays, so they go Taylor Mays.
You know, nobody really don't question Taylor Mays, his physical aspect, but just maybe what he does on the field. You know, maybe he might, you know, he's the type of person, he'll make big plays. He'll give you a big hit, but he won't wrap up.
He won't wrap up. Right. And then you find a player like that, that makes it tough because it's the gift and the curse. Because yeah, he may get there and hit you, and you may fall down, you may drop the ball, but if you don't, you bounce off, it's a touchdown. Right. So they need him to make plays. He has to become better at making plays on the ball. Don't sacrifice an interception for a big hit. Get the ball back. For the offense, that's the job of the safety. So he has to get better in that aspect.
Taylor Mays.
Next up on the clock is the San Diego Chargers. They have a lot of different needs. They can go nose tackle with the loss of Jamal Williams. They can also go cornerback with the loss of Antonio Cromartie. But I'm going to give them running back Ryan Matthews out of Fresno State. Here's a guy that's 5'11", 220 pounds, 4.4 speed, can block, can catch passes out of the backfield. He's going to help out that offense tremendously with the loss of LaDainian Townsend and the pending loss of Darren Sproles. So the Chargers really need a running back. This is going to be their bell cow. Ryan Matthews from that area, from the West Coast, is going to help out that running game tremendously. He's going to be a great player for the Chargers.